Alright.
Oh, Tony. So,
Pausing this. It is Sunday, March 17th, 9:51 a.m. I'm with Charlie. I've got my backpack on my back. Just paused the old Brody Stevens podcast. Heading out to my friend James Brechtel's house. And throwing some duct tape away. Headed with Charlie to the unfinished beltline right now. It's a little chilly out here, 44 degrees or so. Not too much wind, so that's good. Yeah. This is another day of practice. I can feel a slight pain in my arch, which I've been feeling. So I think I need to stretch my foot out. And I'm wearing my new shoes, the new shoes that I'll wear on the actual trail. So I want to break them in a little bit. Make sure, let me pull this microphone out. I'm sure that was noisy. Let me make sure I'm still recording too. Hold on, Charlie. Alright, looks like we're still good. So, yeah, this could potentially be a painful foot day because I'm wearing these new shoes. I'm not sure how they'll break in. I don't have my old inserts in these new shoes. I bought some different inserts because I thought I was getting plantar fasciitis. I might have been, but I'm not really sure about that anymore. I think I was just in pain because of all the walking and running I was doing. So I may not transfer those over to these new shoes because those things smell really bad, and it'd be a shame to have these shoes smell like those old ones so quickly. So, yeah, took a day off yesterday from wearing the pack, and I feel better for it. My shoulders are really, really sore from that walk to Lilburn, just like moving them back and forth. It was a little bit beyond, well, I guess it was pretty similar actually to like if you lift weights for the first time in a long time, and then the day after that, just how sore your body feels. Like it's kind of a good feeling, but it kind of hurts too. Maybe more so hurts than feels good. Charlie, where are you trying to go, man? Alright. Bathroom Charlie. Yeah, man, it's really pretty hard to believe. Another 13 days, is that right? 2 weeks, 7, yeah. No, yeah, 13 days, yeah. 13 days until I hit the trail. Again, not good at math. Certainly not good at subtraction, basic math. I can do it, it's just not snappy. I've always admired Scott Aukerman from Comedy Bang Bang, his ability to do quick and multi-digit math in his head. You know, not necessarily super difficult things, but then again, here I am struggling to figure out if 2 weeks minus 1 day is 13 or 12. So, yeah, pretty impressive. And yeah, just all becoming real. More and more real. This is as my mom pointed out, this is my first day of unemployment. Because today I would typically be working, and I would be at work. This would be my first hour, just elapsing right now. And I have 2 weeks now, 2 5-day periods, business days, to get all my affairs in order, which are really just 3 things, I think. Well, maybe just 2. Well, no, 3. Need to figure out what to do with my 401k. Need to figure out what to do with my life insurance. Need to figure out what to do about travel insurance. And pretty sure most of those things will be actually completed within the first 5 days of my 2-week period. And then I'm set. I'm good to go. It's hard to believe. Very hard to believe. It's scary and it's exciting. And as I watch people on YouTube who are getting further and further down the trail, I'm just like, oh, damn. Watching their, just the expectation versus reality sort of dichotomy flip. It's just like, wow, I'm about to go through that to whatever degree of success. Is this door staying open now? Man, this door over here has been having a lot of trouble. It's the same one that someone broke from presumably opening it too hard the wrong way. Yeah. I woke up at 8 a.m. this morning, truthfully about like maybe 8:05 or so. Well, Charlie, maybe 8:06. And I needed to do that because I fell asleep last night on the couch. It was about 10:40 or so. And Erica went to take a shower, and I was getting pretty tired at that point. And I was like, man, I don't want to get up. And I know I need to wake up early tomorrow so I can go meet with James. And it would behoove me to go to sleep sooner rather than later. So at the time I was like, I think I'll do what I sometimes do, which is to fall asleep until about 1:30, wake up, do all the chores that I should have done before falling asleep, which are typically doing the dishes, sweeping the floor, turning off all the lights, making sure there's no dog poop outside, taking a shower, and then going to bed. So that's typically, once those things have been initiated, that means that I'm going to bed within the hour. And so last night I was like, well, I'll skip it and I'll just go to sleep right now, and I'll wake up and I'll do it like I've done in the past. But I did wake up around 1 or 1:30, and I felt like the second part about waking up at 1:30 to do all these dishes and chores and household things is that it takes about an hour to finish everything. And so I wake up and I stay up completing everything until about 2:30. So by that point, I'm not really all that tired anymore because I've really fully woken up, you know. I'm doing things that you do when you're awake. And so typically when I get in bed, it takes me another hour to fall asleep or so, just because I have to like wind back down. And so you know, I'm sort of tossing and turning and trying to get comfortable, and I'm relaxed and everything. I'm not fully awake, but I'm relaxed enough to eventually sail back into sleep. But then there you go, I've lost 2 hours there, more or less, and I don't really think that the sleep I get at that point is necessarily as deep or restorative either. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like the morning comes really quickly, and it also feels like I've been glimpsing the clock like every hour since trying to go back to sleep, because I'm conscious of the fact that I need to sleep, and it's already really late. So this is obviously something I've done enough times for it to be like an actual process, like a familiar process. I think I've probably done it 10 times. Maybe I do it 10 times a year or something like that. Typically on the weekend, because in those times, sometimes I'll have an extra beer because it's the weekend, and that extra beer will make me more likely to indulge that voice that says, go on to sleep. So last night, I woke up, like I said, at 1:30, and I knew that I had kind of told myself, I'll just do all my chores later. And I woke up, and I was like, well, past experience tells me I'll be up for a while if I do all these chores right now. Maybe I should just do the bare minimum, brush my teeth, go turn off all the lights, lock the doors, set the alarm, etc. Go do all those things, and then just go to bed and wake up early this morning. Come on, Charlie. And finish out everything that I left. And so, that's what I did. What an exciting story. I think I did wake up twice. I woke up at like 5:30 in the morning, and I think I took my clothes off and actually got into the covers. Charlie, where are you going? You're pulling me way off path here. You got to go do some business? This is annoying. So I think overall it was a better idea to go that route, because I was able to get a fuller night's sleep. I didn't actually have to worry about all the things I left undone until like this morning, and waking up at 8 on a Sunday in order to get those things done. Come on, Charlie, this is ridiculous. Isn't a bad way to start the day, because I leave feeling like I've already accomplished something, which is good. typically I have a minor feeling of, no, come on, you're stopping way too many times. I have a minor feeling of accomplishment, drink some coffee, clean the coffee maker, put the dishes away from last night. Basically just do the reverse of everything that I did the night before to prepare for the morning so that I can prepare for the night. Just flip the script. Come on, Charlie. You are ridiculously intrigued by this area right now. We walk here all the time. I don't understand why you think there's something worth smelling now. But I guess I'll indulge you this one time. This additional time. He's looking for something. I don't know what it is. Alright, this is looking like it's going to be a number 2. Alright. I guess that's why you were acting the way you were. You're looking for this spot. And here it is. Let me get this bag out. No. Stop. I'm hoping to get about 10 miles today with him and with my pack on. Just the more miles Charlie gets during the day, the better it is for everybody's sanity, because he is insufferable when he is over-energized. Oh dang, I think that little bit of poop is okay. I made a goodwill effort to pick all this stuff up. Man, pine straw is annoying inside of a bag like this. I'm not sure where the meeting with James will go. I'm not sure if he wants to go anywhere in particular. I know he said he had to be home around noon for some reason, so I know that's the constraint. It's already 10:03. I didn't want to be too committed to a specific time of meeting today, so I told him 10-ish, and it'd probably be very close to 10:30 by the time we get there. But now that Charlie's got his system cleared, maybe he'll be a little bit more cooperative with walking. Although on the unfinished beltline, going, I guess, what is effectively north, he tends to sometimes just stop. In fact, he's kind of stopping right now. Charlie, come on. Come on, this way. He wants to go down these stairs. Lol. Come on, Charlie. Come on. He really is stopping. I think I've jinxed myself. I don't know why. He just always stops going this direction. I guess he knows that we're going for a walk and it's the beginning. And I'm guessing this gravel doesn't feel the best on a dog's foot. So he'll just stop. It's just like, no, man. This is the very beginning of the walk. There's a long way to go. And this isn't negotiable. We've done enough of these walks where you've not gotten your way. You should definitely understand that we're going, and we're going all the way. So anyway, back to James. Yeah, not sure what his plans are, but I'd like to get a cup of coffee from somewhere. I feel the cup of coffee, I was going to say, this is such a mundane story that it's almost ridiculous. I think that it's so mundane that it's actually, this is the punch through moment that I'm trying to talk to my friend Jake about, where something is so boring and so pedestrian that it actually goes from being boring and pedestrian to being interesting and captivating, because it's like an intimate detail of another person's life, and it's also extremely relatable, and it's just oh wow, well, I guess you know what it is. It's just the comfort of friendship when you listen to stuff like that, where someone just really gets in deep about who they are and what they do. It's just you really get a glimpse into the day-to-day life, which is sort of the opposite of social media and celebrity worship and all those things, because it's oh yeah, 100% of a celebrity's time is not spent at a red carpet event. I'm gonna make sure I'm still. Come on, phone, cooperate. Can't see anything. All right, we're still recording. Good, because this is a good flow. I'd be bummed to lose another clip like I did 2 days ago on the way to Lilburn. That was a really good metaphoric description of what I was feeling, and I was really feeling it, and it just kept going and going. But anyway, yeah, so, I think this is I don't know if it's like something that could only come with the emergence of like reality TV, where people will actually watch normal people do stuff, just because I don't know if it's necessarily because it's more relatable in that sense, but there's at least the sense that like, oh, anyone could do this, I could do this. It's really, you don't have to be a famous person to do something that seems to be like the strict like domain of famous people. And so that's how I think compelling podcasts can come from stuff that's not really compelling, or at least in my experience. I don't know, I might not be the best demographic to actually make that kind of a statement. Charlie, come on. Man, this dog is like just the first start of the walk. It's just like pulling teeth. Anyway, though, yeah, I could very well be incorrect, because podcasts aren't even all that popular. And what was I going to say? There's a second part to that. Podcasts aren't very popular, and there was a second part to that. Oh, yeah, the most popular types of podcasts are true crime shows, as far as I can tell. That seems to be, I don't even actually know if that's true, but I do know that, well, you know what? No, it has to be true, and it's because of Serial. That was a true crime podcast. And so a lot of people who got into podcasts, I think, when podcasting really boomed because of help from that show, they sought out other similar shows, which makes sense. It's just like with music, if you like a certain genre, you want to find more bands in that genre. So if you really enjoyed the podcast, and I tried to listen to it, I think I listened to like one episode just after really holding out the Serial craze, and MailChimp did some pretty viral advertising on that show, so it was everywhere. Like, my girlfriend, who doesn't listen to podcasts, she listened to it, and I thought it would be a cool thing, a cool little through line for us, It's like, if we both like that podcast, then hey, maybe she'd get into podcasts too, and that'd be another medium that we could share. But listening to it, I just don't like hearing those kinds of stories. It's just like, it is like engrossing, because it's dramatic and it's like morbid, and there's real stakes, it just like feels important. What is that noise? Oh, it's chickens. But that show and shows like that, just like when I was a kid watching like Unsolved Mysteries or what's that show, Law and Order, I never liked any of those shows because of the darkness. Just, it would make me feel bad, like the world was a bad place. And that's because as people, we're not really multitaskers. We're only able to focus on like a specific thing. And you even see that psychological aspect reflected in biology when you look at the human eye. There's this, if I'm correct, the fovea is the part of the human eye that actually focuses on the thing that you're looking at. And if you think about it, as you look out through your eyes, there's only a very narrow part of what you're seeing that is actually in focus. If you pay attention and you look up, like I'm doing right now, I see two walkers in front of me, and they're in pretty good focus. But in my peripheral, I know that I'm seeing trees and bushes and embankments and stuff, but it's all fuzzy. I can't really see it at all. And similarly, in the mind, you can only focus on one thing. So if you're watching a lot of true crime stuff, listening to a lot of true crime stuff, to me it's just always polluted the way I feel about things. It makes me feel bad because it's something that I've been paying attention to. And as soon as you pay attention to something, it sort of enters your unconscious in a way, and you start to just like, your intuition becomes informed by the things that you've consumed. And so not doing that, for me, is healthier. So I couldn't get into Serial because it was just that same kind of thing. Like, I don't want to think about some guy who killed his girlfriend, or maybe he didn't kill his girlfriend, and that he's in jail, and maybe it's like an unjust incarceration, and he's innocent, or maybe he is guilty in some sort of maniacal mastermind of this weird plan. I don't know. It doesn't matter, because, you know, how often does a situation like that even happen? Not very often in real life, you know. There's a small percentage of people who actually commit horrible crimes, and it's fascinating because it's other, and, you know, the Freudian death wish idea where, you know, people want to die in a weird way, like in a subconscious, unconscious kind of way, where hearing about the death is sort of arousing because, you know, it's taboo. It's not something you're supposed to focus on or fixate upon. It feels bad, feels like something you shouldn't do. But, you know, being out here and talking about my sleep last night for 15 minutes, that's more relatable. And in a way, it's more compelling if you're used to hearing that kind of stuff. And I gotta say, I think that's why I love the Stephen Brody Stevens show so much, because all he's doing is talking about, you know, what's going on in his world, in his mind. And very rarely does he delve outside of that topic. Like, you know, I don't actually know how he feels about politics or like social issues or anything like that. He never really gets into it. And, you know, I really don't want to know. That's that part of him. Just, I mean, I wouldn't mind if he discussed it briefly, but, you know, I don't tune into that show because I'm curious about his latest political breakdown of, you know, what's going on between one person or another. I like him because he's just so himself. And I think that's probably the thing that's most compelling, because, you know, I guess identifying with someone is the thing that makes you read a book or whatever, like Harry Potter as a young kid. You know, it was so engrossing because I could just picture myself being Harry, and I could just see it visually. He was like the same age as me, going through similar things, although on a fantastic scale. Even with that fantastic scale, it was pretty relatable. And so that's what I'm trying to provide. Something that is relatable and so mundane and boring that it becomes interesting, which I think is a real phenomenon. Morning. How's it going? People are coming out. Sunday early morning. It's a pretty nice day. It's mostly sunny and a little chilly, but no rain in the forecast. And, you know, as long as you're moving, it's not too chilly or cold. Got another doggy approaching. Small one. How's it going? Charlie, come on. Come on. Come on. Charlie, you're such a mess. Yeah, it would be interesting to Google that to see if that's a described phenomenon, because I know there's something called a gestalt shift or flip or something. Basically, like when what's a good example of it as far as I understand it? When you look at like an image that was drawn and it's like a picture of a young, beautiful woman, if you look at it one way, but then if you look at it a slightly different way, then it becomes like an old witch. Like that thing that happens in your brain is called a gestalt shift. And so that's kind of what I think this thing is that I'm describing, where just all of a sudden, just unconsciously, that thing turns inside out, and what was boring becomes interesting. And how many other ways can I say it? I feel like I've completely beat that topic to death. I can never describe that any more completely than I just did. So hopefully I don't have to. I'm out here doing everything that I can. It was interesting watching some YouTube clips last night before I fell asleep of two AT thru hikers who I've been following, Artemis on the Trail and Frozen. I don't know what the delay is with their videos, so I'm not sure how long ago the conditions were that they are showing. But man, some hard days out there. and they're both feeling it in different respects, like emotionally and physically. I know I was watching Frozen's last night, and he got soaked through all of his stuff. I think his backpack might have gotten soaked through, maybe not, I'm not sure. I think maybe his backpack survived, but his rain clothes all got soaked through, his hiking skirt, which I'm personally not a fan of for myself, that soaked through, his shoes and socks, obviously, that you can't ever save those. Those got soaked through. I'm not sure if he has an umbrella, but getting soaked through on a rainy day where it clears off and then it gets super cold, which might have even been an episode from a couple nights ago, because that's what happened when I walked to Lilburn on Friday. It was really rainy, and then when the rain went away, it went down to the mid-30s, and I slept outside. I was dry, and there was no rain that I had to deal with. Everything that I had was dry. I was relatively clean. That was probably that same day for Frozen, because he was soaked, and then I think it went down to 24 where he was staying, because he's a couple thousand feet higher up than I am, or I was. So maybe that's just like a 1 or 2 day delay for him, which kudos to you, Frozen, if you're out there and you're editing 20-minute videos in between having these massive hiking days. That's a lot of stress, man. Like, these podcast clips are so easy to make. All I have to do is just talk, and then all I have to do beyond that is upload a completely raw and uncut, like 4 megabyte file to a website that converts it to a YouTube video with a still image, and I'm done. My thing is so easy. I mean, I have had a lot of editing experience in the past, and audio editing. I've made podcasts, obviously. I've made music, and I'm pretty good at the program that I'm pretty good at, which is what's it called, Adobe Audition. But that requires an entire computer. Maybe Frozen has a computer with him. He must. Or an iPad or something. I need to watch his gear video again, see if he mentions that. I'm sure he does. Because doing some of those edits on a phone would be frustrating and potentially not impossible, but just like futile. It's just like it would take more time and it would kill your battery. He's got to have something. He's got to have an iPad or a MacBook Air or something. Anyway, man, what a ramble. It's funny because I think the pollen's starting to come in, but it's still very cold, so it doesn't feel like spring, but in a certain way it does. Stuff is starting to bloom. I've had a few feelings that I've associated now with pollen, where I just get like this very quick micro headache, where it just feels like my sinuses are like fizzling. I don't know. I can't really describe it. It's like that feeling when you get water up your nose and like it kind of seems like something is fizzling, and then it eventually fizzles out and it goes away. Like, that's the feeling sometimes I'll get in my head. I guess the sinus cavities of my skull, assuming there are those. I'm not really even sure. Which I've just grown to associate with the coming of spring. And so, yeah, I don't really know what the through line was there, other than just to say it's not quite warm out yet. And, you know, I'm leaving on the 30th of March on purpose because I'm not super well adept to deal with that kind of cold. And I'm bringing my umbrella, which is probably overkill, and I might even regret and send back. I don't know. It's been such a great asset to me this entire winter, the umbrella, that, you know, I'm willing to take it and be fully aware that it could be a mistake to have it with me, just so that I can have it with me if it ends up being something that I really need. Because I'm sure if Frozen doesn't have an umbrella, I'd imagine that night when he slept, knowing that he had to hike out on his here's a Polaroid that I saw yesterday. I want to pick this up because I was intrigued. I'll put this thing right here. It's like no gap. There we go. What was I saying? I guess, yeah, I bet Frozen wished that he had an umbrella, given how wet he got and how that compromised all of his whole setup. And he basically had to go hike an extra long day into the NOC so that he could get to a warm, dry place and dry out all of his stuff so that he could go back out the next day. Well, it's 10:22. We're off the unfinished belt line now. I think I'm going to switch it to Snarky Puppy and kind of go from there. Hey, Charlie. Let's go this way. So, I'll talk to you later. Maybe tomorrow or maybe later today. Time will tell. Until then, bye for now.